Happy September, besties. It is time. I've actually never filmed one of these videos before, but I'm an extremely indecisive person and I never know what to pick up. I'm a big mood reader, so I figure I just like having a set TBR for the month, and I thought this was a fun way to kind of choose the books that I want to read this month and have it be a fun way to pick the books that I'm going to read. So I have the jar of TBR prompts and I'm gonna pick random ones and see based on, so I've read all of these, but I made like a little shelf for the books that I haven't read yet. So these are all the books on my TBR, and then I have a few on this bottom shelf too, but we're gonna see what the prompts say, and then based on the prompts I'm gonna choose what books I'm gonna read for the month, and I might choose maybe like 4 or 5 to pick from for the month, and then see how many books I actually get to. Hopefully I read all the books on my TBR for this month throughout the month. So let's begin. So this jar isn't super big, so I'm gonna try to like really mix them up and maybe like take some out, put them back in or something. So I'm gonna choose a random one, just feel intuition, what it feels right. First prompt is, ooh, a book with a purple cover, one of my favorite colors. Hell yeah. Okay, so my options are, first up we have The Temptress Queen by Tiffany Wang, which, oh, I actually picked the wrong one. This is actually the second book in the series, so can't choose that actually. It would be this one. This one is the first in the series. It's called Inferno's Heir, so that's like the second book, so I obviously can't read that. So never mind, can't read that. Would this count as purple? Right? I don't know. So The House in the Cerulean Sea is an option. Another purple book is Thrown in the Dark by A.K. Caggiano. House in the Cerulean Sea, it's like a fantasy, like cozy fantasy from what I've heard about it. This one is also a fantasy, but it's more like romantasy. I kind of hate this cover, but I've heard that if you like Assistant to the Villain, that this is very similar to it, and some people say that they like this better than Assistant to the Villain, so that is an option as well. And then this is blue, right? I think this is blue. Yeah, like a dark blue. This one I'm gonna say is purple. I think it has purple in it. And this is A Forbidden Alchemy, which I did start and I'm really loving it. I'm actually kind of I'm not even halfway, but I started it and it's really good so far. So this is a top contender, but we're gonna see what the other prompts are before we make our final decisions. But the 3 books that I can choose for this prompt is A Forbidden Alchemy, which is a romantasy. It was marketed as like a Peaky Blinders meets like romantasy, like a Divine Rivals or like a, I don't know, I actually don't know, but it's Peaky Blinders based with like the class rebellion and the class systems in this book, but there's a really cool elemental magic world building to it, but there's a really cool magic system and elemental magic mixed in with a good romance, and I don't know, it seems really interesting. So this is one option, Thrown in the Dark or The House in the Cerulean Sea I could choose for this prompt, but let's choose our next prompt. Okay. This one is, ooh, a hardcover book I need to choose. Okay. So that I could do A Forbidden Alchemy for, or I could do The Wedding People by Alison Esbach, which I've heard a lot of really good things about. I think this is more like, leans more towards literary fiction. Oh, this one too, Night of the Witch, which I took the dust jacket off, so I don't know where that dust jacket went, but this is Night of the Witch. Pretty sure it's a romantasy. I don't really know too much else about what it's about, but it could be a fun read for the fall time. And then I have Dance of Thieves, Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintero, which is a mystery book, and then I have Swordcatcher, so these two are like more fantasy. So those I could pick from as well, potentially. Let's choose our next prompt. Okay, I'm really trying to get in there and see. Okay, intuition. Let's see what we get. A blue cover. Okay, interesting. We're getting a lot of color prompts. So blue cover, I could do Truly Devious, Remarkably Bright Creatures. Truly Devious, I heard, is like the Inheritance games and the Natural series. If you've read those before, they're very similar to those series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's YA murder mystery, found family, like a group of teens, and solving like cold cases. So very interesting, could be fun for the fall time. I could read Remarkably Bright Creatures, which is a literary fiction, very cozy. I also started this one and didn't finish it yet, but it's really comfy, very character driven, so it's a little bit slower paced, but really a beautiful story so far. I could read Beartown by Fred McBachman, which I've heard nothing but amazing things about. Everyone raves about this book, so that's on there as well. Yeah, I think those are all the books that I could pick for that prompt. Okay, I think I'm gonna try to choose maybe 2 more prompts will do. This one is, ooh, this one is a book that has a place in the title. So let's see. I mean, Beartown could be one of them. Oh, House in the Cerulean Sea. That's a place. Cerulean Sea. Place in the title. Place in the title. Place in the title? Yeah, I think that's it. So the 2 options for a book that has a place in the title is either The House in the Cerulean Sea or Beartown. And then, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more prompt. Let's see what it is. Okay, really gonna try to, I don't know what that did, but I'm really gonna try to dig around. Intuition. Last TBR prompt is a book with the ocean on the cover. Ooh, okay, so ocean on the cover. We have The Wedding People, and we have The House in the Cerulean Sea, and then we also have Remarkably Bright Creatures. Okay, so we have a few options here. Oh, Empire, is that a sea? Yeah, Empire of Storms, ocean on the cover, if I really wanted to tackle this. Yeah, I think that was it, but I'm excited to do this again and check out all the other prompts for the months to go on, but I think we got some good picks here. So overall, the 5 prompts I have is a book with the ocean on the cover, a hardcover book, a book with a purple cover, a blue cover, and a book that has a place in the title. Decisions that I have to make right now. So now I'm forced to make a decision. Crazy. Okay, I have made my final decisions. Also, I forgot to mention, but this sweatshirt is so cute. It has like a little bear on it and says she's got a book for every situation. I'm pretty sure I got this from Threaded by Sabrina, and they have the cutest bookish merch. I love this sweatshirt, so just wanted to shout that out. But final decisions have been made. Let's get into it. So the first prompt, a hardcover book. I've been really wanting to read this book, and I started it already, so I know I'm gonna like it, but A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. I've been really enjoying this, and I want to dive back into it and hopefully finish it up in the month of September. So this is definitely a priority TBR, now officially on the September TBR, A Forbidden Alchemy. I also just really love a romantasy in the fall time. I feel like it's the perfect time to read romantasy, and I always just like really get into a romantasy around this time, so I'm really excited to pick this up. So basically this is like Peaky Blinders romantasy to give you a glimpse of like the setting and the vibe of the book. And then we have our 2 main characters who kind of meet as children. At the ceremony you get kind of sorted into whether you're an artisan who has magic or you're a working class person like miner, farmers, all of those. So there's like 2 classes in the system, and you get sorted into which one you're going to be for the rest of your life. So our 2 main characters, they meet at the ceremony, they find out this big secret that binds them, they go their separate ways, and then they meet back up later on. I haven't gotten to that part yet, but apparently they meet back up later on, and we're kind of dealing with their whole story and magic and romantasy of it all. I don't really know, but I'm gonna learn more obviously as I continue reading this book, but really intrigued, and I think this is gonna be a really fun romantasy read. And then next up, a book with a purple cover. I chose Thrown in the Dark by A.K. Caggiano, I think is how you say your name. But even though I hate this cover with a passion, and I hate any book with people on the cover, especially cartoons, anything, people, real people, cartoon people, I just hate people on the cover. I did choose to read this book anyway because I'm really intrigued by it, and I think it could be like a fun read for the fall time, especially because people say it's very similar to Assistant to the Villain, and people like this one more, so that intrigued me about this, so I'm excited to read this. I don't really know too much about what it's about. I think he's like kind of the morally gray main character, and then it's like grumpy sunshine romantasy, and they get like, I think it's close proximity, like they get chained to each other magically somehow, and I think she's a thief, and then they somehow get chained to each other, and then they have to like go on adventures or whatever. It just seems like a cozy fantasy, and I think I'm gonna really enjoy this one. It seems more like humorous writing, so it's a little bit more lighthearted than it is like a romantasy where there's a lot of drama and politics. This seems like it's gonna be more like funny, cozy fantasy, so I'm excited to pick up this book too. Next up is a blue covered book, and for that I chose Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I also started this book a little bit. I'm only 33 pages in, but I think this is just a great read to get into the fall spirit, murder mystery, and a little bit of a different genre than like a regular romance. So I think this is going to be a fun read for the fall time. I'm excited to learn more about what it's about, and I think like a YA book is also kind of easier to get into for me, and I just love a good murder mystery, so this should be a fun read too. Next up is a book that has a place in the title, and for that prompt I chose Beartown, which I've heard nothing but amazing things about. Anyone who's read this has rated it 5 stars, so I'm really intrigued by this. This leans more towards literary fiction. It's about this small town hockey team, and yeah, it's a junior ice hockey team. So the town's junior ice hockey team, I feel like it's gonna give like, I've actually never watched Friday Night Lights, but I feel like, you know, small town, the sport is like the main thing going on. It's like the highs and lows and drama, and I don't know what else goes on, but I'm kind of going into it a little bit blind. But I've heard his writing style is really good, so I'm excited to jump into this too, and I have literally no idea what I'm getting into, but I've heard nothing but great things, so I'm excited to pick this up in September. And then the last book on the September TBR, the prompt was a book with an ocean on the cover, and for that prompt I chose the last book on the September TBR is The House in the Cerulean Sea. I've also heard nothing but amazing things about this. This seems like a very cozy fantasy about like, I think there's like a found family in here, and it's very whimsical and just lighthearted, which I think is going to be fun to read in the fall time, especially like to mix between the genres, where I think Beartown and Truly Devious might be a little bit like darker books. I like that I have like a light whimsical book kind of thrown in there too. That's not necessarily a romance, so I'm excited about this book as well. And I think we have a good solid lineup of like romantasy, funny romantasy, murder mystery, deep heartfelt story, and then we have a whimsical fantasy too. So I feel like I got a good lineup going on, and I'm excited for all these fall reads and all the books that I'm gonna read in September. Hopefully, we'll see how many I get to, but it's nice to, at least as someone who's really indecisive, it's nice to have like, okay, I just can choose from these books and that's it. So excited to get into these books and read them and film some reading vlogs for you guys. So thanks for watching this video, and leave a comment letting me know what other videos you guys want to see from me. I love you besties, and I will catch you in the next one.